Next meeting is starting now. So I'm going to assume that the gong has gone off and that the meeting actually has started. This is Nina Brown in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So pleased to welcome you all, those who are live, those of you who will be live, those who are listening, will be listening onto the conference today, the broadcast, or tomorrow. It really is a special pleasure each month to be able to join my amazing publisher, Jaylene Clark, and co-author, Christy Sweetland, to play with the concept of S.T.A.R philosophy based on book number 1, and Jaylene in a second will show you brand new book number 2. And today we're going to talk about what is your philosophy. So let me start with introducing Jaylene and let you show book number 2, and we'll say hello to Kathleen in just a second. So Jaylene.
Hi, this is Jaylene Clark, and I'm holding the new book. This is Christy Sweetland and Nina's new book, S.T.A.R Philosophy, Fascinated Observer's Guide. Oh my gosh, do we have an adventure writing this book? So I'm excited today to talk about what my philosophy is, because boy, howdy, has it been revised over the last couple of years. Wow. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys and loving you both and supporting you, Nina, as you take off to a new land.
New land, and to come back a new person. Can we see both books together? Because that's going to be really exciting. But you have to make noise. There we go.
There we go.
Talk.
There we go. Why should I make noise about this? This is the most amazing thing in the whole entire universe that's out there right now. If you want something that's going to help you understand life and see your life in a completely different way, these are the books for you. Just read these. And then you'll be going, oh, I think I'll just trust a little bit more today.
I love it. Thank you,
Christy, and go on vacation.
How about co-author? Yeah, Christy Sweetland, co-author.
You're making me laugh today, Nina.
God!
I don't even know what to say. Seeing the books like that, I mean, the philosophy that empowered its own writing. That's what I feel. The book wrote itself, and it did that through the living of the philosophy. And I just think the most magical part about it is understanding that this has always been my philosophy. The surrender, trust, allow, receive, and yet I never put it in those terms. But now that it became so solid and something that became this living, breathing entity for me, it's like reuniting with a cherished friend who's always been there. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I feel when I see the book. It's just really hard. That's a year, a lot of blood, sweat, guts, and tears. And to see it in form like this is almost overwhelming. And it feels like a little living being. And not having had children, it feels like the birth of a child for me. So, yeah,
beautiful spines.
I know. There we go.
Aren't they cute together?
They are cute together.
Oh, and maybe this will be a series. Maybe we'll have another one.
And on, yeah. So don't expect me to be very eloquent today, because I feel like I'm just stumbling over all of my words.
Well, we're in trouble because I'm going to India and I'm stumbling all over my words. Jaylene, this is your show.
Yeah.
I shall anchor today.
Well, I'll tell you what I can do, though. as far as anchoring goes, I'm going to take what we wrote and really worked hard on in S.T.A.R. Philosophy, Fascinated Observer. Oh, no, it's actually in both books now, which is the definition of philosophy. And let me start with the traditional definition, and I'm going to pose it as a question because I'm not so sure I know the answer. But could it be that philosophy is a study of wisdom? And so what is wisdom? And one definition I've heard is those areas that are, and I'm going to really mess this up, non-tangible. It's sort of like the etheric world or the untouchable concepts, ideas, I guess like love or any of those topics, and just the discussion and growth of understanding. But what we came up with is philosophy is the activity through which we see creation through the eyes of the Creator. I just love that. And then if I can see the small print, the full octave expression of philosophy is about nurturing the soul, the seeds of wisdom, hibernating in our sacred hearts. We are born with these seeds. The philosopher's stone that holds the secret seeds to everything has transformed into the philosopher's seed, a living being which can burst forth into new, never before expressed shapes, forms, and playful creativity. So, Jaylene, the concept of a star being a philosophy was birthed from you. So, you're on.
Well, when we started off with S.T.A.R, we didn't really know what to call it. You know, do we call it principles? Do we call it formula? Do we call it a state of being? You know, what is it? And I think that it named itself eventually. Eventually it showed us through what we were embodying in our life every day that it was a philosophy and not a principle. A principle seems like, well, you know, you can think of your principal in school and what that was like to go to the principal's office, and it didn't feel like a very pleasant thing most of the time. But a philosophy is something different. A philosophy empowers me. And with philosophy, and in particular the S.T.A.R philosophy, it's not about being a dogma. You don't get spanked if you don't follow the directions. So it gives it an opportunity where we can apply it to our own life in the way that it's applicable in that very moment. So we can go through something that is really traumatic or extreme, and we can look towards this, okay, surrender, trust, allow, receive, surrender, trust, allow, receive. How does that apply in this situation? Which one am I in right now? So if I do this, what will it look like? You know, will I be able to alleviate suffering in my life? And so I think philosophy for me with this book, it came as we lived it. Mm-hmm. What it is came as we lived it. But we didn't sit down a couple of years ago and go, oh, okay, let's write the S.T.A.R philosophy. We didn't know it at that time that it was.
I'm not so sure I would have said yes.
Yes, it taught us. And then as I've watched you, Nina, over the past couple of years, go through these stages of quantum leap after quantum leap after quantum leap, you know, I see with you and your style of being with others that one of the most powerful assets you have is the ability to ask a question. And that is what every good philosopher will do. We ask a question. Why? What? How? What if? You know, all those beautiful things.
I love it. And, you know, I have to digress here for a second. And thank you so much, Jaylene, for the concept of query. I think I did it naturally, but now I'm doing it consciously as well as naturally. And for those who know what I'm up to, and for those who don't, I'm off to India tomorrow to speak in front of what is turning out to be probably more than 2,000 people. So, you know, the question is, how do you speak for 5 hours and not teach? And not teach? And how do you do it in front of 2,000 people? Well, you know, I'll let you know when I get back, because I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do is have 2 men and 2 women in a semicircle on the stage with me. Because I would love to have all 2,000 people in a circle. You know, I would love that. And to have exchange and dialogue. And you know, what if it's true that we're a sovereign being, which is one of my topic questions. But this little semicircle on the stage, they're going to represent the entire audience. And so because of you, and you are giving me clarity on this, we're going to try a new model. And I'm really, really excited about it. So just want to bounce the compliment back to you, Jaylene.
Thank you, thank you. Well, my philosophy, I started thinking about this question again, about what my philosophy is. And my philosophy is morphing. That is my answer. My philosophy morphs. The more that I change, the more that I transform, the more quantum leaps that I have, the more I transform. So my philosophy, and I think it is due to working on this content, is morphing. It's a flower. It's blooming all the time. And it's not one of those flowers that blooms every 50 years.
Yeah, and you know, it's like what we put in the definition of philosophy. It's the seed in the heart that is growing. And yours is going to look a little different than mine. Thank you. Yeah. I love it. Well, so Christy, you're profound. I mean, you spent a year working on this. So what'd you come up with?
Well, you'll have to read the book. You know, I was sitting here thinking about the very day that I got the memo that we were now calling this a philosophy, and how it immediately was like, oh, I didn't even realize there was a missing piece, but as soon as the energy of that came in, it was like, okay, this is home now. Because I remember when I first started writing, I would call it the tenets, you know, tenets of Buddhism or tenets of Sufism or whatever, and Jaylene and Nina would be like, no, and there was a hardness to that word. And then principle came in as the next replacement word, and there's a hardness to that word too. And so finally one day we're like, this is a philosophy. I mean, and it infused new life into it. But I think about that as Jaylene is talking about her morphing philosophy. I do think that our philosophies grow with us and morph. And I think it's every bit as subtle and intricate as feeling our way through the energy of the right word to describe it. And that's really the process that I undertake when I feel my way into my guiding philosophy, is just what feels right, what feels good, what doesn't feel hard, and what feels like home. And yeah, I think that's the foundation of it for me.
So it sounds like the philosophy as it morphs is touching intimately your innate knowing, your innate wisdom.
And the foundation of that is complete self-empowerment, complete sovereignty. Because I can't do that. I can't trust I can't trust my way to feel my way through life without understanding my own divinity, my own sovereignty.
You know, and that takes us back to a fundamental question, and then we'll open it up to the participants. Can one take on the S.T.A.R philosophy without being grounded in the essential qualities. And just to repeat what they are, the acceptance and declaration of human divinity primarily, number one, and self-love and living in the now moment. And just being nice, the expanded golden rule. I think we played around with that at one point and posed the answer that, sure, you can take it on without having been grounded in human divinity. And maybe that's true. I just think it's more difficult. And so the process is expanding at the proper rate, proper time, into the level of awareness that is right for you. And the further we get into the declaration of sovereignty, the easier the S.T.A.R philosophy becomes. Does that make sense, Christy?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly put. I feel like, I do feel like plugging into the essential qualities is sort of supercharging the experience. And without plugging into the reality of human divinity or the experience of human divinity, because we don't, want to tell anyone what their reality is. But I think that's the part of it that is just supercharges the whole experience for me.
Okay, so that was a chime. I don't know what that was, but that means let's go to Israel. Maybe
that was my email going off. I'm sorry.
No, it was not. That was the bells in Jerusalem. Remember, Marita, when we were on top of the sanctuary? Where were we? Whatever that sanctuary is. And at 12 o'clock, all the bells in Jerusalem rang. And I just thought, oh. Marita, my dear friend in Israel, introduce yourself and say whatever pops into your head.
Hello there. I was already in bed and I couldn't fall asleep, and I kept looking at the clock and I said, no, I must say goodbye to Nina before she goes to India, and this time it's going to work. So I got up and made a cup of tea, and here I am, all the way from Israel, to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And my regards to the galactic friends I have there too. And I guess we all chose you to do this, You were chosen to do this, and I'm very proud of being a friend of yours. And yes, I'm at the Sea of Galilee still, but I'm leaving next week.
Okay.
I thought this was my dream place, and it was apparently a workplace. I had to spend half a year here, and it's been work all the time. And I couldn't do anything else. It was just an amazing experience of connecting timelines and God knows what. Having help from all over the world coming and going, and just an unbelievable adventure. And now I'm just surrendering to what's coming next. And I'm very excited about it, although I'm disappointed that it only was for 6 months. And about this whole philosophy of S.T.A.R, I do miss the foundations. It is, it's missing the whole acceptance of being the divine one that I am, although I am aware of it. It's here. It's always at the back of my neck, but it's still not completely integrated. The self-love is also not completely either. So everything is like a bit shaky. I have moments of joy, but it's not here all the time. But I guess that's okay. Nobody's going around joyful all the time. Apart from you, Nina. But I do the best I can.
That's
What's that?
oh, well, I wanted
That's lovely. So I do believe that the foundations will come at their own time. It's not something you can work at.
right.
But at the same time, I'm using all the other tools. You know, I do my best to surrender, and sometimes I trust more than others, and and I allow it to happen. I allow the changes. I'm in a roller coaster of changes all the time. When I thought that I was going to finally settle down in one spot, here I am packing again and moving. And I just allow it to happen. And I know that it is going to be my time for joy because I feel that I finished an important task. And now it's my turn to have fun.
Where are you moving to?
Where am I moving to?
Yes.
To a small town near where I came from last time, full of artists, full of spiritual people. I just am tapping into a job that I will be working with children and creativity, which is wonderful. And I found a partner to do it. And everything is happening very quickly. I found an apartment, I found a partner, and tomorrow I'm going to talk to her about this work opportunity. And it feels like now it's my turn to have fun and to play.
Marita, look what you created. Remember just a few weeks ago you were saying how lonely you were. So being the observer of you and the work that you've done, and I really would like you to share publicly again what that work is with Mary Magdalene and the Rose, etc. You have done remarkable work in the Sea of Galilee, and I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that the work that you have done in the Sea of Galilee, with what you're about to explain to us, is a prerequisite to the next step of work, which is what we're going to be doing together on October 2nd in the Maitri Buddha Pyramid in India? I mean, I think it's all a piece of the puzzle, and you were a critical piece of it. So share about the Rose and Magdalene.
I think it's not by chance that we connected. And I do believe that a lot of the peace and harmony will come from Israel, because it is a spot of great conflict and it needed to be addressed. And I came to the spot where Mary Magdalene and Jesus and the Great Mother lived. And I was called to do this. It has been a journey for the last 10 years of connecting to the energy of the rose, which was an energy, how do you call it? It was an underground energy spot in Israel that was open and maintained by Mary Magdalene. And this is what I know, and I feel that I came in this lifetime to reopen it. And it has been a learning experience. What are these underground lines? How do I connect these energy places? And it was shown to me slowly. I could see those tunnels opening in rose colors in front of me. It was just amazing. And the last piece of work had to be done here on the Sea of Galilee. It's a spot of, it's a lake that has a dam on one side, so it's like there's no movement here. It's stagnant. So what I understood when I got here was that I was supposed to have it moving. and I was directed to put a torus in the middle of it. And it was amazing work to get connecting lines from Portugal, from Fatima, to this spot here and connect the rose to it. I don't know if you're following me, but this was like a slow task and difficult to understand. And I got one of our circle friends to come and help me. Yvonne was here, not by chance, and she helped me work on it. And then I got messages all the time, and more friends came to help me do it. And that's it. There is a Rose Energy Center under the Sea of Galilee now, connected to the Healing Center of Portugal, which is called Fatima.
And Marita, tell us that the Sea of Galilee is the primary water supply for all of Israel.
Yes, it is the emotional spot in Israel. You know, it's the water in the middle of Israel. Apart from the ocean being around us, right? The Mediterranean is all around us. But this inland lake is the only source of clean water to Israel. And it was blocked and it wasn't moving, and it affected the whole country. And when we went underneath, we saw also a very dark spot there that we had to neutralize. So it's been like one of those fantastic journeys that it's very hard to talk about with just anyone. But it's done. And I had feedback from people who would tell me that they dreamt or they saw in meditation that there was a fountain in the middle of the Sea of Galilee. Or someone, a friend who came with me to the Sea of Galilee said, there's a special energy here now. I didn't feel it before. All these things are coming to me, so I understand, okay, it's working, it's fine. I didn't know that I had to go back. I thought I was going to stay here, but I understand that now I'm going to make peace with my family and go back and have time for them and connect with interesting people and take care of my art again and maybe teach children. I don't know what's waiting for me. I just know that I'm excited about it. At the same time, I'm disappointed that I'm leaving this spot, but I'm arranging already to come here every week and maybe do workshops in a studio. Something is happening, and now it's for me.
Oh, now it's for you. It sounds to me really, really perfect, and I love being the witness of it all from 2012, really, when you were dreaming about going to the Sea of Galilee, and then you manifested it, and now you're manifesting the friends and family connections and expansion of your art. It's beautiful. So thank you very much, and let's pop over to Kathleen in the USA.
Before I start saying anything else, I just want to give Marita a big hug and kiss from here. You are such an inspiration, honey. I just sat here and listened to your story, and I was like, oh my goodness, I wish I could touch her to let her know how powerful what you have just expressed is. And because I can feel that energy running through me because it's so from your heart. Oh my goodness, girl. I know it's very, when we do allow ourselves to experience life through the S.T.A.R philosophy, it's there's that expression, fake it till you make it.
Well, I have a new book.
All right, we're on. I really feel that's it at least a considerable amount of the time for me. I know I believe it with all of my being, and that comes from the inner knowing. I can only believe from the inner knowing space. But the everyday realities, like the challenges that Marita is saying that become the disappointments. Oh, I found the vibration expressed this particular way in this particular place that was going to be for me right now. And then you have to up and move again. I've moved about over a dozen and a half times in my life, and I'm ready to do another one. So I totally, totally comprehend what you're feeling there. But I just want to share that the world has been altered because you heeded the call. Like Nina, the world is being altered because y'all are paying attention and willing to step up and be the truth of who we really are. So in my fake it till I make it part, all I need to do is reference this circle of that comes together, and I'm not faking it anymore because I can tap into it. It's real for me. And I just really wanted to honor Marita, what you're doing and what you've done and the path you're on. It is such a parallel to what Nina is doing, and it's just it's just so huge, and it's so beautiful, and it's so powerful, and it's so grounded and real. All of you, all of us, because we're coming with intention and consciousness from our sacred hearts, our divine parts. And this, as we're on the equinox, we're on a new moon, we're in Libra space of balance and harmony. This is all, we're on the Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. All to think of what is going on in a 7-week period on a linear calendar right now. How potent all of this is. It's just magnificent. I was supposed to be training at a job today.
Oh.
So I didn't think I could make this, and I went, and she said, "You've got the wrong day. You're supposed to be here tomorrow. Get out of here." So I'm like, "Oh my golly, I get to be with the girls."
Good manifesting.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you that I feel you so strongly. It's just amazing. You talking, and I feel this amount of love coming through you back and forth. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, too. Thank you. You is a plural here. All of you, the steps that have been made. Yeah.
Well, so back on topic here. Kathleen, do you have any pithy comment about philosophy?
I concur with the previous speakers that it always seems to be sort of an evolving thing. Nothing about S.T.A.R is radically new to me, like I think both Jaylene and Charlene have said, but it changes how it expresses within me and how I express it externally or in my beingness. It expands, it deepens. Like a few weeks ago when I had that quantum leap of realizing that there was a very tense situation within the family dynamic that I got to neutralize because I didn't let myself go to the past. It was in this now moment, and in this now moment, I know I'm capable of bringing peace to this situation. And so one step at a time, one moment of aha at a time. That's the philosophy for me, is we're just, not trying to, I think a big part for me came with the self-love and letting go of the self-criticism. Get rid of that critic and just let myself be the observer. And when I can do that for myself, I can do it in relationship to others. And that was the biggest part, I think, of the philosophy for helping me really hold on to it, letting it take a hold within me. The seeds that you were saying, Nina, that have seriously taken root and are solidly, firmly attached to the divine heart, crystalline heart of Mother Earth, and reaching towards the stars.
Can I ask you a question that probably you can't answer? Is there a magic pill that will gift us self-love? I mean, how did you do it?
If there's a magic pill, I'd like to know about it. It was probably the easiest to follow that. No, I think I think the fourth pillar or the fourth leg of the chair really helps with that. Treat all beings like you would like to be treated. Well, if I can't treat me that way, then how can it possibly be what I want to be bringing to the world? So it allowed me to keep in the 4 steps. It allowed me to just not let it get away. That's how I could bring it back in, bring it back in. Would I critique my best friend who was coming to me saying her heart's ripped apart right now? Would I tell her critical language? No. So why was I doing that to myself?
Wow. You're on the speaker circuit. I mean, I don't know when you're going to begin, but I'm placing you on the speaker circuit.
Thanks.
Well, it's really funny because every time you talk, I take some notes, and I don't do that for everyone, honey.
No.
Note giver.
Isn't Kathleen's story actually in our book?
Yeah, she is. She's in the book.
Yeah. And
So
the outsider.
The fact that I'm in the book is also any parts of me that were still afraid. When you all extended that invitation to me, that was one of the first major quantums shifts for me. It was like, I can't go backwards anymore. I can't use anything as an excuse. This is it's just who I am. And okay, so it's not my income at this moment. It will be. It will be how I sustain myself. I'm in process of that. Oh, by the way, the speaking engagement that I thought I was having in July and then it got rained out, she's looking at her October calendar, so I will have some version of a talk and a play date probably have a date, Nina, by the time you come home.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So, free flow. Marita, come off mic whenever you want to, contribute. How about you?
I just want to talk about self-love.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy when I'm on my own, but when I am near my family, some of my friends, they view me as being such irresponsible. that I cannot sustain myself, that I cannot pay my bills, and it's like such a contradiction to what I am doing. So it's very difficult to maintain that self-love when I'm getting bombarded by my family who are the last couple of months. What's going on here?
I don't know. Yvonne's upside down.
Okay.
It's upside down.
Maybe Yvonne could mute herself until I get this figured out.
Yvonne, can you mute? Yvonne, can you
I cannot pay my bills, and it's like such a contradiction to what I am doing.
Oh, and we're getting
what's going on?
Yvonne, put yourself on mute.
Nina, can you mute her?
Can I mute her? What an interesting thought.
I think I just did.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I really would love Marita to keep going. That was very important what she was saying. So,
Marita, you're back to your family criticism.
Yeah, that's the whole scene is so absurd. You know, I'm doing something that I know is important, but I've been criticized from all around me for not being able to sustain myself, pay my bills, and I've been called irresponsible. And it is very hard to maintain self-love and self-esteem during this time. And so I want to tell you that this hangout is so important for me. It's the only place where I can express myself and hear myself and get the feedback from you.
Can I ask you something, Marita?
Yeah.
How does what your family is saying to you relate to what Mary's family said to her?
Whose family said to?
How does what your family is saying to you relate to what Mary Magdalene's family said to her about what she was doing? And then feel for just a moment what wonderful company you are in with. So every time they tell you that you're irresponsible, you say, "Oh, honey, I'm in great company."
I certainly am. Yesterday I got Jesus coming to me and he was amazing. The amount of light I got from him, the amount of loving was amazing because I've been focusing on Magdalene and Mother Mary and I forgot about him. You know, the male side. So he came through and said, "I'm here, my dear." I'm important too. So I got a great hug yesterday. It was amazing. But yes, you're right. You're right. I have to overcome this. Now that I'm moving from here, it's like for my family, it's like, here you go, another one of your fantasies, and we had to support you while you were doing that. So it hurts a bit. I can't avoid that. It's like feeling their arrows coming at me. So I've been a fascinated observer for the last week, and it helped. It helped. Just look at the whole situation and smile at it.
Well, and it occurs to me, following up on Jaylene's comment, that you have a friend, not only in Sananda, but in Mary Magdalene, and you might just ask for some love and nurturing and help.
I do. I do. I keep calling on them and telling them I'm doing this work together with you, not on my own. So please support me. But don't forget that this country has a lot of antagonism here. There's a lot of the darkness here as well, and I feel it very heavily.
Well, you're probably part of the transmutation. Thank you, Marita. Let's see if we can get Yvonne, who looks like two bats on the ceiling. So,
Yeah, you're upside down.
yeah, no, Yvonne, come off of mute and introduce yourself, and I can't see who's with you.
Hi, I'm at a friend's house, a very dear friend who we've recently met again, but who I know from another lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm using her computer, and I have no idea why we're upside down, but it's kind of cool. Sorry. And we've been listening in from the beginning, and thank you for sharing your story, Marita. I really feel absolutely what you've done there has been amazing, and with your sensitivity and what you've been bringing through, just with what Kathleen was saying, here, keep on going with your new step, even though I'm sure you would have liked to have stayed in Almagor longer. hey, go for it. I'm glad I can see you and speak to you before you go. So safe travels till your next adventure.
So, Yvonne, do you want to say something really wise and memorable about philosophy?
As you're upside down, because I'm looking at them going, okay, what's the metaphor?
Yeah, metaphor.
Well, they're not only upside down, they have commanded the field here. We can't see anything but them.
Well, I would say my philosophy is taking it one step at a time with everything that we're interested in, and in coming together in the quantum field and what's coming through in the new, birthing and all the dimensions and all of creation and all in the universe coming together more as one. It's like this is such a huge step forward in our small, using the S.T.A.R philosophy in our daily lives, but what's actually coming together is in such a quantum field. It's difficult to even fathom with our small minds, but in the whole, it's absolutely marvelous. And all the beautiful people in my life, they keep on, more people keep showing up. There's one sitting right next to me, and she just lives, 5 minutes down the road. So, and there's all you beautiful people in America, and Nina, who I've known for years. So, absolutely wonderful to connect.
So, Yvonne, can you introduce your friend again, and maybe she can jump in and give us the answer to what is philosophy and your philosophy? We're looking for the answer here.
Hello, my name is S.T.A.R. S.T.A.R.
Lovely to meet you.
I'm lovely to meet you all, and I'm really astounded that there are so many people, which I can feel that I know, and I'm very, very happy about this. So I'm overjoyed, really. Thank you.
Well, we have so many friends in the Netherlands. It's such an awakened country. For such a small country, there are so many that are opening up, and so thank you for joining us. And next time, maybe stand up straight. Well, Jaylene, maybe the metaphor, and help me with all of you. We're about to have our world turn upside down.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually, the thing that was coming to my mind is we see upside down. In this, right? In the visual cortex, we see upside down, and then we put it right side up. So I think that's interesting.
So we're seeing directly now without...
I think that's a metaphor for me.
Say it again. What's the metaphor?
The metaphor for me is that this is how we should be seeing the world, is upside down. But our brains skew it to where we see it right side up in the visual cortex.
Okay.
So it is to see creation through the eyes of the Creator.
Oh, and that's how the Creator sees us, upside down?
Hello? Well, there's nothing skewing it in the brain.
Got it. Well, and this is really the center of my focus in India, as you know.
Can you stand on your head while you're there?
What a great idea. I'll have to wear pants, though, and I don't want to do that.
I was just thinking that because I see you in dresses all the time. Now, it would be a completely different kind of show if you stood on your head in your dress.
Well, I'll do anything, what am I supposed to wear? I can wear pants, it's okay,
Good.
Yeah, but I think you're right. We started this broadcast by giving one definition of philosophy as seeing creation through the eyes of the Creator. Mm-hmm. So I think that technology is winking at us here, and not Christy, what's the wink mean?
I think the only person that can answer that is Yvonne, because she's the one that's upside down.
Well, we're sitting here looking at this and thinking, what the hell is this all about?
Okay. So enough playing around. Let's get serious here. And I don't know how to do that. So how about Kathleen? Kathleen, can you solve all our problems here?
No, and not even going to try.
I love it. Okay. So I'm supposed to moderate this. What am I going to say? I'm so overwhelmed by Yvonne. You know, I think probably the most dynamic statement of many is how philosophy morphs. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here trying to put in words that it's got so much to do with my belief system. I mean, if I go back to when I was little and what I believe was truth, and I think we're moving in, I'd like to move the conversation a little bit into truth as well, so you can help me with that topic in India, please. That what I thought was truth, and that would be a study of wisdom, the wisdom of truth, which is philosophy, is so different today than it was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And probably the biggest difference is I found my truth outside of myself in the dictates of the collective consciousness. So the biggest morph, the biggest change for me in truth or in philosophy boils down to I have the answers. My innate knowing is where I look for the wisdom, is where I look for the direction, is where I look for my truth. And this is new. This is absolutely brand spanking new for me. And new, I mean a couple of years. So I just needed to put that into words.
I had this whole dialogue with the word truth several years ago. It's like, if we say that it's truth, the moment that we say that it's truth, it becomes the past. And so the word that I'm looking toward is not truth, it is true. What is true is now. What is truth could be something I learned 50 years ago when I was born. But what is true is now for me. So I had this whole play. I was sitting on the beach in Corpus Christi, Texas, when that epiphany fell over me. I will never forget it. So that's how it works for me. If it's true, it's now. If it's truth, it's past.
Wow.
That's very cool.
It's super cool. And can I steal that when I'm standing on the platform in India?
Sure. It was a real surreal experience because I pulled out of my hotel in Corpus Christi and I went over to the convenience store and I was getting myself a bottle of cold coffee, you know, that Frappuccino, yum, and was going to take that over to the beach and just, you know, have a morning on the beach by myself. And as I drove around the corner, there was a man on the corner that was playing a French horn. And I thought that is the oddest thing I've ever seen. It was like the trumpets were blaring as I was going to the beach that day. And I got that little epiphany. I've never seen a guy on a corner in a city like Corpus Christi, Texas, playing a French horn.
Jaylene was one of your angels.
Oh, I think, well, Gabriel does play a horn, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
But the horn was about true versus truth.
Profound. So on that topic, has anybody had a human-looking person pop into their life that really was an angel? I have. But let me ask the question. Some stranger that appears in your life for maybe an instant that says something magical and then just disappears?
Mm-hmm.
No?
I have.
Oh, goody! I was going to call in the angelic choir. And
S.T.A.R. has as well.
Share, Christy, please.
Yeah, when I went through an episode of losing my mind, and it really reminds me of Marita's question of, how can I do this work in the world and constantly justify myself to somebody who doesn't get it? Well, I went through a giant experience like that, where I left my career, my very lucrative career, because I knew that I would die if I stayed in it another day. And as I made that giant transition, I had a complete psychic opening and a spiritual emergency in the form of a spontaneous shamanic initiation. And to make a long story short, I found myself driving around the state of New Mexico. I wasn't from New Mexico at the time. And I pulled into a Walmart, and I don't even know where I was because I was completely out of my mind back then. Something in southern New Mexico. And I was going to go get a digital tape recorder because I kept channeling these crazy things coming out of my mouth, and I wanted to capture them. I didn't know where they were coming from, and I got this message that I wasn't alone, that there was somebody watching over me. And as I pulled into Walmart, there was a man that was asking for money. And I pulled out a $20 bill, and I just gave it to him without thinking. And he said, "Thank you, bless you." And as I turned around to say, "You're welcome," he was gone.
Wow.
He was in a split second.
Wow.
And it just completely blew my mind. I know for a fact that was a physical manifestation of this that I heard. It helped me. We're talking about the junction point, Nina, where we're trying to live in the divinity and ground in the humanity. And I was that whole experience for me was finding balance between the two. And I feel like in that moment he pulled me back to earth.
Ah. Wow. How beautiful. Thank you, Christy. We have 8, 9, 10, 2 minutes, and that's not enough to say bye-bye. So how about we start on the right-hand side? Yes, Kathleen?
Can I just real fast on back to Christie's, because I got just pins and needles.
Yeah.
I was walking around the neighborhood yesterday trying to get rid of some things we're feeling blocking, and something told me to look in a particular place as I was passing by the woods, and there on the ground was a $20 bill. And it was like, what is a $20 bill doing here?
It's Christy!
Because I've got limitation, I've letting go of limitation issues. So when Christy just said the angel, she gave a $20 bill to an angel, I'm like, I got to tell you guys this.
We have an entire section about this in this new book.
Your angel gave that $20 bill back to me, Christy.
Here's your line right here. Can you see it? Fascinated by richness.
Yeah. That's really fascinating. So I hate to stop this. So Yvonne, can the both of you say bye-bye from the Netherlands?
Yes, thanks everybody for connecting. I really enjoyed it.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Yvonne, bring all your friends. You can hang on your head if you want, or whatever works. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Marita in Israel, can you say goodbye?
Thank you, all of you, and all the best to you, Nina. Good luck, and be yourself, and laugh a lot, and we'll all be there with you.
Oh, that I know, and that is going to make everything so much more joyful. Thank you, Marita. I love you. And thinking of you in this week's transition to the hugs and kisses of your grandchildren and your family. So, Kathleen, how about you from...
Just want to say thank you once again to everybody who's physically got little pictures down here, and those of us who are listening only. It is the high point of my experience every time I get to connect with y'all, because I feel family. Thank you all so much, Nina. Just, have such a great time, and we're so excited. I'm going to be sitting on the side of a mountain in upstate New York in a retreat space, and I'm just so thrilled to be part of this consciousness with you all.
Oh, thank you. And Christy, do you want to say bye-bye from New Mexico?
Yeah, just love and hugs to all of you, and yeah, I just feel like I'll be perched right there on your little shoulder, Nina.
Oh. Thank you. I love it. I love it. And Jaylene, how about from you?
Oh, well, I want to say first off, congratulations, Christy.
Yes.
Congratulations, Christy. I'm so proud of you. You really did a beautiful job, and you stuck with it until it was perfect. And I really admire you for that.
Thank you, Jaylene.
Thank you, thank you. And Nina, you have a beautiful trip. I can't wait to hear about your adventures. I can't wait to see the pictures. It's going to be very exciting, and I just wish you have a happy, happy, wonderful adventure.
Oh.
And you'll know what to do. You're just fine, honey.
So on a final note, it looks like October, after I get back and get settled again, it will be October 21st. Jaylene and Christy and I are going to play again, and we have a title which is Can Fascinating Start the Process of Creative Momentum. What a mouthful. That came from Christy.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, straight out of the new book. So I hope everyone can join us and come play with us. And I just say bisous, bisous. Thank you so much. What an absolutely stellar morning. And bye-bye. Bye-bye to the viewers.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you.